Ithinar's Bloom by H. Jane Harrington. Chapter 14. The Lover's Staff. Live long, wench often. Master Kezias. Vaughn was halfway down the alley before he glanced over his shoulder. No one trailed, so he returned his attention to Gavin, who led spryly for one seemingly so invalid. "Ah, lovely ladies of pleasure," Gavin called back. "The gods do bless them." That was quite a diversion, Vaughn laughed. She would have even turned a dead man's head. You learn the tricks of the trade when you live at the bottom of the world. Vaughn remembered Keir having used a similar expression. While he had not been raised a noble, he had been granted the comforts that the lower classes never knew. It seemed inconceivable that the crown cared so little for its own people, when it existed solely for their governance and welfare. And it seemed even harder to comprehend why the poor would not rise out of their desperate straits and help themselves. How did things deteriorate so? Did these people have no means to escape their predicament? Vaughn asked, more to himself. Not all men are born to fortune. Some don't possess the education or the desire to better their circumstances. Some believe that the world should provide for them, and they spend their measly lives blaming others for their lot in life while never endeavoring to improve it on their own. And then there are some who simply cannot keep fortune's company. Experience is a great teacher, and I was an apt student. Wealth and status are lubricious mistresses, son. Take care to hold tight, lest they slip right through your grasp, Gavin advised. The man could not know how closely his statement mirrored Vaughn's life. His whole world had been stripped away in a heartbeat. As the mid-morning shadows stretched, Gavin led Vaughn into a more respectable area of Lower Southport. The healer's clinic was located near the heart of the district and appeared well tended. Vaughn was relieved to find the parlor waiting room to be empty. From the polished hardwood floors to the lush greenery, from magical shift paintings adorning the walls to a sparkling fountain floating in the center of the room, this healer's office served as a stark contrast to the previous one from whence they had come. Vaughn's attention was drawn to the shift painting nearest the door, and he watched as the scenery changed magically before his eyes, from a landscape to a portrait. He marveled at the creative magic imbued in the canvas, which gave it the ability to display many different paintings, thereby eliminating the monotony of a single image. "May I be of some service?" a pretty green-eyed attendant asked, approaching them from behind a marble counter. She smiled politely at Vaughn, but her cheeks drooped when her gaze fell on Gavin. "Perhaps you have the wrong healer, sir." She frowned with a hint of dismissal in her voice. No, he is with me," Vaughn corrected, displeased with the woman's haughty attitude. "I request a healer's services for 2 cases, this gentleman being one. The other is a lady who requires an in-house visit." The woman looked Vaughn up and down, obviously accepting the status his well-groomed and tailored appearance afforded him. "Very well, sir," she said. "Master Healer Lint is just finishing his lunch now. I will apprise him of your need. Please wait here." The woman disappeared through a nearby door. It seemed to take forever, and Vaughn hoped Keir had not yet realized his absence. Finally the door opened, and the healer emerged, wiping the corner of his mouth with a finely embroidered handkerchief. He looked to be a middle-aged gentleman, with black-strap molasses skin and neatly trimmed black hair. Something told Vaughn that this man might be older than he appeared. He approached Vaughn with a polite smile. "Greetings, sir. I am Gryden Lint, Master Healer, at your service. How may I be of assistance?" Vaughn introduced himself formally, then gestured to his companion. "First of all, Master Lint, please see to—" "Gavin! By the gods!" Lint boomed. He paused, taking in the sight of the old man before him. "You look like you were just booted from the 5th level of hell." Gavin chuckled. "Hell's bowels may be a sight nicer than where I've been dwelling of late, old friend. What brings you to my office? We haven't sat over tea since just after your law office closed. How many years has that been?" "I've lost count," Gavin grumbled. "This young man has graciously offered to pay your pirate's ransom in exchange for my guidance to your door." "Pirate? I?" Lint chortled in good nature. "You should talk. He must be desperate indeed if he seeks guidance from an old scoundrel like you." Gavin chuckled. "Indeed. Well, anyway, I come about a problem with a potion. Or a snake oil treatment gone wrong is more like it. Stay away from Roselia's potion stand on Canal Street, let me warn you. If she offers the lover's staff, run screamin'. Hope you can reverse the effects, lest I spend the rest of my days as a walking hat rack." He squirmed uncomfortably. Vaughn squirmed likewise at the thought. "Lover's staff? Does that really work?" "Apparently not," Gavin muttered. "Apparently too well." Lint laughed heartily. "Come along, man, let's get you seen about so I can move on to more important patients." No wonder the old man hobbled through town so quickly, Vaughn thought, biting his lip to suppress a grin. The two men exited the foyer to the exam rooms beyond, Gavin waddling his way behind the healer. Vaughn could hear them trading light-hearted banter even after the door closed. After a brief handful of minutes, the two men returned. Gavin bore a look of relief. "About payment?" Vaughn asked Lint. "What do you charge for Master Gavin's, condition?" The healer shook his head. "No payment for this necessary, good sir. The entertainment value is payment enough. Besides, old Gavin and I go way back. I'm sure there was a debt or two I owed him from years past." Gavin tipped his hat to Vaughn and clasped arms with Lint. "So long, you fine chaps, and thank you tremendously for relieving my burden." He gestured in formal gratitude and bowed deeply. When Gavin had departed, Lint turned to Vaughn and asked about the next patient. "She's waiting at an inn near the inner docks. She's sure to prove more contentious than Master Gavin. She can be rather cantankerous and surly. In fact, she may not be very happy to see you at all," Vaughn described. "Huh, she sounds like my wife," Lint commented sarcastically. "Is she yours?" Vaughn shuddered. "Oh no, much worse." Lint furrowed a befuddled brow. "Oh, well, let me put a few potions in my bag and we'll see to her."